beautiful. I just want to see turtles in it right now.
How cold is it exactly? Well, it's about 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty cold. Well below freezing. And when I got in the car, it was saying it's 1 degree, but it's actually 0 degrees as well. It's insane. So here we are. It may be up to like 4 or 5 degrees right now. But anyway, here at Riverside Reptiles, getting ready to help them build an enclosure today. Really excited about that. I think we're going to be able to come up with something nice. Hopefully the cold weather is not going to be a help for today, but here we are, going to do the best we can.
Subscribe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pavers, cinder blocks. How warm do you think it is right now? 5?
9 degrees.
7?
0.
9? So I've designed this little block to be able to measure about 4, maybe a hair over 4 inches from the top of this lip, because we're going to cut this liner down, this preformed liner. It's really hard to hide these in an exhibit, so we're going to cut the lip off, make it a little bit shorter, so it'll be easier to do that. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But basically how this works is it's going to be a relatively even measurement so that when I cut, I have a line like this. I lost over 300 pounds on Nutrisystem. This used to be my belt. I want to talk about how cool I feel right now. I've never worked at a zoo. I always felt bad I didn't get a degree in biology or zoology or whatever, but today, while Kevin and I are here working at Riverside Reptiles Education Center, they're treating us like part of the team, which they always do, but today it's like for real. We've got the volunteer intern walkie-talkie and also keys to the city here, so we can do whatever we need. So I've been asking all my questions. I've been very needy, and they're treating me very nice so far, but I'm sure they're mad at me and frustrated that I keep bothering them on the walkie-talkie. But if you got it, flaunt it, am I right? Right now, just filling in some of the space with some large blocks so that we can block in where this preformed liner is so it doesn't move, doesn't collapse over time, and hopefully just provide, if we just went with just substrate, sometimes that loosens up over time, it settles and compacts, so things shift and move. So we're just using the block to try to give us a more reliable form around this rigid liner that we cut the lip off, which will make it less rigid over time. Mixture with substrate. Forgive me, this is more manual labor than I'm used to doing. Basically, with the substrate, we're doing a mixture of topsoil that's actually from outside here as a base. We're mixing in peat moss, also some other organic topsoil, and then we're mixing in cypress mulch. So that mixture gives a more realistic feel to the topography as this settles in and becomes more bioactive, and the animals start to use it. This will settle and condense and feel more like normal ground, as opposed to that really fluffy substrate that you see in a lot of reptile enclosures. We want to mimic the natural environment as much as possible. woodchuck to gray squirrel, woodchuck to gray squirrel. Come in, gray squirrel.
This is Gray Squirrel. Go ahead, woodchuck.
Just want to make sure you're doing okay, gray squirrel. Over.
Doing very well, thank you.
All right, we're here if you need anything. Keep an eye out. Over.
Look at those little feet.
I know, they're the cutest. Radiated tortoises. So, speaking of radiated tortoises, Astrokelys radiata, we're looking at a couple right here. And if you remember, we actually basically played middleman for these animals when they came up from Florida and came here to Riverside. So this is Nick and Lily, if I'm not mistaken, the two radiated tortoises. And this enclosure was set up just a day or two ago. So they've just hit kind of the floor here where people can actually come and enjoy them. So it's a pretty cool, exciting couple days here. And it's great to see them. Not only do they, look great physically, but they also look like, in terms of their behavior, like they're really enjoying their new environment. We just took a leisurely stroll outside in the still very cold environment to grab some more materials that we're going to be using now. Lunch was lovely, but it's time to get back to work, even though we're feeling a little bit sluggish. Here goes nothing. Start pumping this up. So basically this liner down here, the main pond area, is going to pump water up and over and into the bottom of this bog area. That will act as some natural filtration. So setting that up right now, hoping that everything goes as we planned. Now, recently I came here and tried to see this animal. This is an animal that actually lived with me for many years, many years. And he is a Vietnamese black-breasted beef turtle, the species that I recently gifted on behalf of myself and my partner Steve Enders to our good friend Chris Leone, if you saw that video. And it's a species that we've bred for many years, a species that I wrote a book about, so I love them very, very much. This turtle is named Pops, and I know him very well because this is a turtle that I cared for many years. He came into the US in 1999 and had produced young many times throughout the years. But in 2019, he sustained an injury to his breeding organ, let's say, and it had to be amputated. So this turtle now lives here at Riverside by himself, which is the best way to keep them, because he can no longer procreate and add to his species in that way. So he is here to educate and hopefully inspire and excite the younger generation, let them know about this endangered species from Vietnam and China that they might not know about otherwise. Hi Pops, I miss you, buddy. You look happy here. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back at Riverside Reptiles Education Center in Enfield, Connecticut. Super excited to be here again and to be here with you. A couple weeks ago, my friend Kevin and I were here working our butts off to build a new native turtle habitat at Riverside, and today is the day that turtles are actually going to be moving into that habitat for the first time. So we're excited to share it with you today.
Rubs on Leo.
I was in there for a first meeting the other day, and he was rubbing his back of his shell on me.
Yeah.
What?
That's wonderful. Hey guys, this is Kevin from Just Turtles.
Yeah, it is.
And this is Fig. Fig is an Aldabra tortoise from the Aldabra Atoll, or the Seychelles Islands originally, where they were endemic to. But But a long time ago, sailors decided they wanted to eat them all. And the reason why is these get to be very large animals, and he is currently peeing. They get to be very large animals, and they can go months without eating or drinking. So it gave sailors the opportunity to have fresh food on their ships at any time to feed their sailors. But due to that, they ate them to extinction pretty much, extirpation, excuse me. They did survive on Aldabra Atoll because of the harsh conditions. And thankfully today, there's still around 100 to 150,000 of them on that island.
So we're here at Riverside Reptiles, and I'm with my esteemed buddy, Kevin Minto.
Hey guys.
You may or may not know, Kevin is really the talent behind Just Turtles, and none of this happens without him. So he's also one of my best friends.
I appreciate that. Thank
It's
you.
true. I don't know if I'm one of his best friends. Maybe we'll see. I'll just send you a note like, do you want to be a best friend?
I
Yes, no,
kind of
maybe.
like you, you know, depends.
Yeah,
When he comes over, he can't put his head in my house, so it makes me feel weird.
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to being on film a little bit more with you.
This is a little more enjoyable. Yes, and absolutely. But this right now is a little bit more enjoyable than the last time we were here. Although we had a really fun time,
Yeah.
we really worked hard.
Yeah.
And we had a finite amount of time. So when we were here, we had to really get after it and build this enclosure behind us.
Very dusty that day.
Very dusty. I had black boogers for like
A week.
4 days, afterwards. So anyway, it's amazing to be back now and to see the fruits of our labor starting to come together. Now, I also have to give credit to our good friend Mark Da Silva, who came here and beautified this enclosure when we weren't here. So plants and cork bark and all sorts of amazing things and foam and things that I don't even necessarily understand to make our work look a little bit more beautiful. But what's it like right now to see everything kind of coming together?
This is wild. Coming back here after the way we left it and seeing it complete is mind-blowing. Mark did such an amazing job. You may remember Mark from the inaugural Connecticut Turtle Society meeting. He had a video presentation on there. And I mean, he understands like the nature aspect of it a lot more than I do. I believe a lot more than Anthony does as well.
Yeah, totally.
I believe you were saying that a lot of the success you had with plants in your house in this past year is because of Mark.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm very excited and happy that I know Mark and that Mark's a part of this, and just pumped to be back and see it and get to see the animals go in it for the first time. It was really exciting.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing some of the inhabitants for this new habitat into the enclosure for the first time. We're here for that. We're really excited that the amazing professionals here at Riverside Reptiles Education Center actually held off on that, on doing the honors so that we could be a part of it, which is really cool. So
Thank you.
thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in.
We chose native turtles for this habitat because the location of this habitat is very close to some window panes. And the window panes are very old and very thin. Because of that, the weather it's just very cold in this area. Because we're a reptile zoo, there's not a lot of animals that will do well in this area. Most of them need to be really warm. And because native turtles are used to this weather, we thought this would be the perfect habitat for them. The whole build was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. One day I had a call of the wild moment and I decided I was going to tear this whole thing apart and just build it from scratch all by myself. I don't know what I was thinking. As you can see, this is a pretty big habitat. And I decided to do it during one of our busiest times of year as well. So it sat like this for weeks, just completely empty. There was nothing in here. And it was really embarrassing because when our guests come here, they pay money to come here. And I want them to see beautiful habitats, not empty enclosures. And I think one day, Anthony and Mark and Kevin came and they were just like, what the heck is going on here? I told them what was going on and they were just like, we would love to do this for you. So I went from a high point to a low point to a high point. And then they came and they started building and we were really excited. And we were like, it's almost done. We have maybe a couple more weeks. And then there was a leak. There's always a leak whenever there's water and plumbing involved. And so then I was back down again and then they finished and Mark came and he made it look beautiful. And now this is the highest point it could possibly be. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. I just want to see turtles in it right now.
So I am here with one of my all-time favorite species in the entire world. Now, if you watch the channel, our video that we did at Garden State Tortoise with our friends Chris and Casey Leone, we actually did highlight this species. This is a North American spotted turtle, Chlamys guttata. And this is actually one of my first loves. This is the first species that I ever hatched from an egg. And this is the species that will be living in this new habitat that we helped build here at Riverside. And it's a great species for this area. As you heard Emily say, it gets a little drafty over here. So there were, in the past, some redfoot tortoises and maybe some leopard tortoises here at one point, bearded dragons, but those are all species that really enjoy a lot of warmth. Spotted turtles really benefit when they have a chance to cool down during these winter months. So it's a perfect species for this area. The only issue is this is so large that we're not going to see them very much, but that's a good thing, right? People can come back to Riverside again and again, and maybe they don't see a spotted turtle every single time because these animals will be nice and secure and happy here in their enclosure. Now, the 3 spotted turtles that are being added to this enclosure today actually come from a friend of ours, Dan Reller from Minnesota, and he has a YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It's called Dan's Turtle Room. Don't worry, he asked if he could use the name Turtle Room after we met and all that sort of thing, but he's a really nice guy, and he does a great job breeding the animals he does. He's someone who really focuses, so there's kind of like this do as I say, not as I do. I keep a lot of species, but really if you want to do it the right way, it's great to focus on 1 or 2 species and do a really good job with those species, and that's what Dan really does. He keeps spotted turtles and Florida box turtles, 2 American favorites, and 2 small, manageably sized species. Don't worry, I can talk. So super excited to be here and to be doing the honors to let these turtles go in their new habitat. What a day to be alive. All right, little buddy, I'm going to put you in your new home now. You're not too good for your home, are you?
Subscribe, join the crew. Just turtles, there's always something new.